Starting the stream. Should we play W2K25? Should we play Singa? Should we play Roblox? Should we play Brawl Stars? Should we play Black Ops 6? You don't want to see that? What do you want to see? If I'm not looking at the camera, then these are my immediate raw reactions. This is my thumbnail face. Okay. But seriously, this is gonna be a video, so I'm just doing it in the form of a live stream, so that way I can get in the habit of live streaming after every Raw, after every SmackDown, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's gonna be like a 10-minute live stream, so nothing long. But we're gonna see the process. You're gonna see how it goes making these videos. So basically, it just starts with an overreaction, saying that Goldberg came back and he is going to dethrone Gunther. Now, it might sound crazy, but Goldberg came back for this reason, because they don't want Jey Uso to go against Goldberg. We know that, right? That's the whole reason why Jey Uso dropped the title to Gunther, because Jey Uso, him versus Gunther, that would be embarrassing for Jey Uso, because not only would Jey Uso lose to Goldberg, right? Goldberg has a better spear than Jey Uso. For Jey Uso to get, it would just be, if you look at Jey Uso's spear next to Goldberg's spear, Goldberg just is so much better. Even though he is 56, about to turn 57, he's just stronger than Jey Uso. His spear has more impact, and Jey Uso was to get outperformed by Goldberg, someone who's notorious for being not so great of a wrestler, not so great of a technical wrestler, right? For his technical ability, Jey Uso would just be a terrible match against Goldberg. That's why he needs to return against somebody who can actually be a good wrestler. Gunther is a great wrestler. No matter how bad Goldberg is, no matter how bad his matches against The Undertaker was, no matter how bad his matches against Brock Lesnar was, him versus Gunther, it's not going to be a bad match, because Gunther is so good that he can carry anyone. We saw Gunther, that's why he fought Pat McAfee at Backlash. They were testing him. Can Gunther carry a match against someone who's not so great of a wrestler? And he did. He performed. He tested well. The match against Pat McAfee between Gunther and Backlash, that was a great match, right? Even though people had their ups, they say it dragged out a little bit. It was a little bit slow, but that's what you would expect from a celebrity. And it was not a bad match. It was not a 1-star match. It was not a 2-star match. It was at least like a 2.5-star match, right? It was a pretty good, pretty exciting, pretty eventful match. You were looking out for what was going to happen. There's a reason why. Gunther versus Pat McAfee. WWE trusts Gunther right now. No superstar has as much trust that WWE has than Gunther, besides maybe like John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, right? That's why Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank. Seth Rollins is being overpushed. He's drawn comparisons to Hulk Hogan. But the thing is that Seth Rollins is an actual good worker, right? He's not like Hulk Hogan. He's someone who can actually wrestle. He is someone who made his name for himself on the independents before he became, before he got to WWE, before he got to NXT. Seth Rollins wasn't somebody the same way that Gunther. Gunther is a good wrestler. He was a good wrestler before he came to WWE, and now WWE, just like they trust Seth Rollins, they trust Gunther. They're trying to make him a star. You don't become a star by just winning the World Heavyweight Championship one time, right? John Cena has multiple reigns. Randy Orton has multiple reigns. CM Punk has multiple reigns. Gunther, he needs to have multiple reigns with the World Heavyweight Championship, and I get that he's pushing 40, right? It's not like he's going to be in WWE for another 15 years, just like how Randy Orton has had a long career, just like how all of these others legends have. He's going to retire. Maybe in his prime. Maybe this is his prime right now. So thank you for the chat. Thank you for the people saying hi. I say hi back. Thank you, Goofy, Sigma, Jasmine, Nicholas. But there's a Gunther. It makes so much sense that he beat Jey Uso. Comment. Do you want Jey Uso as World Heavyweight Champion? Does he look like a World Heavyweight Champion? Or does he look like a mid-carder? Does he look like someone who's just a little bit goofy, a little bit too unserious, a little bit, just not that good of a wrestler? So, Gunther he just looks like a professional. He doesn't have the build necessarily, but he looks the part. His matches are good. Jey Uso's matches are, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Gunther, you're guaranteed a hit, right? Gunther versus Goldberg is a match that's going to deliver on Saturday night's main event. Yes, it's on TV, it's on NBC, it's not a premium live event, but it's a high profile match against a returning legend. Goldberg is a legend, whether you like it or not, whether you want him to just stay away, whether you want him to be retired. Goldberg is still a big name. He's still a draw. He's still someone that we want to see. Okay, this comment. This is gonna be a Q&A right now. How are people so deep into a scripted sport? The same way that we love just any physicality, right? You look at movies, you look at actual sports. We just love physicality. We love seeing people try to hurt each other. We like UFC because there's just in human nature we like seeing violence. WWE is pretty violent, whether it's scripted, whether they're actually hurting each other or not. They're taking pain in some sort of way. They're taking pain, right? And we like to see pain inflicted. It's just what we always like to do. We like the gladiators in Rome. We like UFC. We like bare knuckle boxing. We like all these sports where there's people hurting each other. There's no reason why we wouldn't like that. So like, if anybody has any actual questions, I'll take them right now. Because yeah, this is a Raw reactions, but I mean, yeah, it's Raw reactions, right? I'm reacting to Raw, and right now the only thing I have to talk about is Goldberg because I didn't really care for the rest of what was on Raw. AJ Styles is he's the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship. If he wins the title, that's great for AJ Styles. He's late in his career. His matches haven't been that great, especially his match at WrestleMania against Logan Paul. That underperformed. Since then, it's been better. He hasn't had a stinker like that one. But AJ Styles is not one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. Like 10 years ago, AJ Styles was the best wrestler in the world. Right now, Kenny Omega is probably better. You can say Cody Rhodes is a better wrestler than AJ Styles right now. I'm talking about technical wise. Dan O'Brien's a part-timer, but he's probably better than AJ Styles is. AJ Styles is not someone who can carry someone in the mat and someone in the ring, as we saw evident at WrestleMania. He's had a bunch of bad WrestleMania matches, coming to think about it. Gunther is someone who can carry someone in the ring very well. Reliable performer. He's always present. He took that little suspension, right? He was suspended after WrestleMania for what he did to Pat McAfee, but he came back just a couple weeks later. Gunther is someone who you can trust to be the top star. That's why we're okay with AJ Styles being a mid-carder. We're okay with that. We're okay with Dominic Mysterio being the Intercontinental Champion because yeah, he doesn't look like a wrestler. He's weak. He's not athletic compared to anyone else on the roster. He's not believable. But we're fine with him being the champion because he has such a great character. He is so entertaining to watch, and he's always reliable. His father was a Hall of Fame. He's a legend. And Dominic Mysterio, he's making a name for himself, and he's done it very well. Everything that he's given, he's delivered. He doesn't take it for granted that he is Rey Mysterio's son. He actually performs very well, decently. He puts in the work. Maybe not in the gym, but he trains in the ring, right? We see him on phase and do whatever. He's becoming a big name. He might retire bigger, more famous than Rey Mysterio himself. Dominic Mysterio has that potential, right? He's got that heel. The Goofy Gang. We're just reacting to Raw right now. Let me know what y'all think of Raw. Was it a good show? Because I was kind of watching the NBA Finals. I'm not gonna lie. It was a good game, NBA Finals, if we're going to talk about that for a little bit. The Pacers unfortunately lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder are basically the heels of the NBA, right? Because not a lot of people like the Thunder. They're just so dominant, and that's why people don't like them. People don't like people who are dominant. John Cena is he's the champion. He's dominant. People don't like him because of that. Gunther, he just won the title. We're not turning on Gunther yet. Even though some people have, because they're saying like, oh, why would Jey Uso lose already? That was such a short title reign. But it's like you don't want Jey Uso to be buried against Goldberg, because if it was Jey Uso versus Goldberg, Jey Uso probably would have lost. Do you want him to lose to Gunther, or do you want him to lose to Goldberg? Jey Uso's not going to hold the title till WrestleMania. He wasn't going to. I'm not saying he's a transitional champion, but the plan was never for him to be the face of the company. It was never for him to be the top star. John Cena is the champion on SmackDown, but he's not he's not that great of a wrestler right now. His matches aren't really that good. So on Raw, you need to have someone who could be a workhorse, someone who could have consistently great matches, someone who could put these people over, have these bangers with other superstars like Seth Rollins, like Braun Breaker, whoever's going to challenge Gunther, someone who can look good in defeat. Because Gunther, he's dominant. If you lose to Gunther, you're not buried. I said this in my last video. The video before that, I don't know, one of these videos that I made this past week. If you lose to Gunther, you're not buried. If you lose to Jey Uso, you're practically buried, because Jey Uso is evident. He makes it evident in every single match that he has that he's not that great of a superstar. I mean, he's terrific, right? He's capable of putting on great matches. It's just that he hasn't been doing that much. He's just yeet. 4 letters, 1 word, right? That's what he's doing. He's just a character. his as far as wrestling goes, Gunther is just miles ahead, and that's why it makes so sense. I could do a whole live stream just talking about Gunther and just talking about how great he is, and just how why it just makes so much sense. So if anybody has any questions about that, now I'll be so happy to take them. So talking about other stuff that happened on Raw, we got the fatal four-way between Ivy Now, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, and Stephanie McCure. Ivy Now was like, if I forgot Ivy Now was even a part of the match because she was just outside the ring for most of it. And then Asuka ends up winning. It's her first match back in over a year. And one of the things I said in my video I made earlier today is that when superstars return, why do they always need to win and like look so strong? It's like, you've been gone for so long. It's okay to in kayfabe wise to be rusty, right? Because what you're doing is all these other superstars who have momentum, like Stephanie McCure, someone like Raquel Rodriguez, who could use a win in singles competition. It will benefit them more than Asuka, someone who's been gone for over a year. It will benefit them more to win the fatal four-way and advance at least just one round, maybe not win the whole Queen of the Ring, but at least advance to the semifinals than it does for Asuka to win and advance to the semifinals. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, sometimes picking the right winner is hard. And WWE, I'm not saying WWE's been like terrible at it. Like, there's no wrong winner. It's not like Asuka's a bad choice. It's not like she's a bad wrestler. But I don't know, because another thing was that people were upset that Asuka's return wasn't kept a surprise. Oh, it should have been a surprise. But it's like, we've had a lot of great surprises. Rusev's return was a surprise, right? We didn't get any announcement of that. Aleister Black's return was a surprise. We didn't get any alert of that happening either, right? Kairi saying her return was good, but it's like, oh, they announced Asuka. They should have left it a surprise. That was a miss by WWE. It's like, it doesn't matter. We were hyped for this match because we knew Asuka was in it. If Asuka wasn't in the match and it was just mystery opponent, then we probably would have like, oh, Stephanie McCure is winning, Raquel Rodriguez is winning. But once Asuka comes out, we would be like, oh yeah, Asuka's gonna win, and it just would have been predictable if we didn't know who Asuka was until she came back, until she actually got before the WWE crowd. So, and for moving along the Raw reactions, we already talked about AJ Styles. We talked about that. Liv Morgan wants to fight Io Sky, and it's like, okay, Liv Morgan's already a champion. She's won half of the Women's Tag Team Champions with Raquel Rodriguez. Does she need to go and be in the world title picture again? I don't know. Probably. I mean, she's the most recognizable women's superstar at this moment, besides maybe Rhea Ripley. Speaking of which, both are followed by Aubrey Graham. That's just a side note. But it's like, Liv Morgan is... WWE needs to capitalize on it. Io Sky, I don't see her doing anything outside of WWE. I don't know if it's because she doesn't have like the best English or whatever, but outside of WWE, Io Sky is not carrying herself as the champion, as someone who's getting into the mainstream like Liv Morgan is. Liv Morgan, even as a champion, she took a break from WWE to film a movie. Like, she's doing stuff outside of WWE. She's doing the WrestleMania after parties. She's doing the podcast. Liv Morgan, I wouldn't be upset if she becomes a world champion. Like, her and Rhea Ripley are the two most famous women superstars right now, who are known by non-WWE fans. Like, they're low-key getting more recognition, whether they're from WWE or not, from what they're doing in WWE or not. Now, I'm not watching something. I'm just looking at the results from last night. JD McDonough versus AJ Styles. Yeah, AJ Styles beat JD McDonough. It seemed like AJ Styles, he took the championship from Dominic Mysterio. He's going to fight Dominic Mysterio pretty soon for the Intercontinental Championship. Is that going to happen on Night of Champions? I mean, it's called Night of Champions, so we should have championship matches for every single belt that there is. But sometimes the premium live events don't live up to the name. We remember Extreme Rules in 2022. There was only one Extreme Rules match. We've seen Night of Champions premium live events where there's not that many championship matches. We might see it again this year, but maybe Dominic Mysterio is going to fight at Night of Champions, and that's going to be a streak because he defended the title at Money in the Bank. He defended the title at Backlash. Dominic Mysterio is bringing the Intercontinental Championship. He's keeping it relevant as it should be. Now, unfortunately, the same can't be said for the United States Championship. But like I said in my video earlier today, that's the topic for another video, maybe another live stream. We'll talk about the United States Championship, just how poorly it's just being treated, because nobody cares about that title at all, really. which is unfortunate to see because it's one of the longest. It's been in WWE for a long time, the championship, and it's just being wasted, and nobody really gives a care, for whatever reason. Because Jacob Fatu is the champion. He's a great champion. Nothing against Jacob Fatu, but WWE's booking. They're not booking him in interesting matches. And we got another showdown of Rusev and Sheamus because we had the fatal four-way: Jey Uso versus Rusev versus Sheamus versus Bronson Reed. And as I predicted, as everyone expected, Jey Uso won the match. Bronson Reed does not need the win. LA Knight cost him the match, just like LA Knight cost Braun Breaker the match last week. And this LA Knight feud versus Seth Rollins and his faction, they're on different shows. LA Knight is on SmackDown. Seth Rollins is on Raw. Bronson Reed's on Raw. Braun Breaker's on Raw. Does this mean we're going to get a WWE draft soon? I feel like we're going to get a draft. Seth Rollins is going to get drafted to SmackDown. He might take the World Heavyweight Championship to SmackDown. John Cena might be taking the WWE Undisputed Championship to Raw, which makes sense because Raw is the bigger show. It's on Netflix. John Cena, it makes sense for him to be on Netflix only and not making these appearances on SmackDown, which is on USA Network. Raw right now, Monday Night Raw is the A show. So I feel like we're going to get a draft soon. I feel like Seth Rollins is going to take the World Heavyweight Championship to SmackDown. I wouldn't mind Gunther taking that championship to SmackDown. But it feels like that's going to be moved. John Cena is going to come to Raw. He's going to bring his WWE Championship. And we're going to get an LA Knight versus Seth Rollins feud for possibly for the World Heavyweight Championship, which is exciting. It might happen later this summer. It might happen in the fall. But LA Knight is going to be main eventing some SmackDowns later this year against Seth Rollins. That's my prediction, since I believe that the draft is going to happen soon. But going back to this match, what happened tonight on Raw, Jey Uso won his match. He advances. And Jey Uso, I forgot who's going to fight in the semifinal. But it's going to be Jey Uso. He advances in the King of the Ring tournament, which is good because he just lost the World Heavyweight Championship. Keep him as a main eventer. Don't lose out on his momentum. Jey Uso has a ton of momentum right now. He's getting a lot of merch sales. He's getting the crowd hype. Jey Uso is a somebody for real, right? And we don't know how long this is gonna last. They've done a great job at handling Jey Uso because they made him world champion, which is the pinnacle of what Jey Uso can do as a single superstar. Before that, he's only ever held the Intercontinental Championship and the Tag Team Championships. So Jey Uso, this is a big year for him. He's very relevant right now. He's main event caliber. He somewhat delivers in matches. Maybe not. He doesn't put on classics. I don't know if he's like truly capable of putting on a classic match. No, his match with his brother Jamie versus the New Day, that was a classic match. But that was years ago. Jey Uso by himself. He's reaching his potential right here. He's pushing 40 years old as well, as like a lot of WWE superstars are. So Jey Uso, keep him in the main event scene. He doesn't need to win King of the Ring. If we're talking about who should win King of the Ring, it doesn't need to be Jey Uso. It could be Sami Zayn. I wouldn't be upset at that. I know a lot of people are saying they're tired of Sami Zayn. He needs a character change. He should turn heel or whatever. He should get involved with Karrion Kross. Then had yet another confrontation this week on Raw. I didn't get to look at the details, but those two guys, they make sense. Cody Rhodes, again, he makes sense for why he should win King of the Ring. Cody Rhodes obviously lost the title at WrestleMania to John Cena, just like Jey Uso lost the title to Gunther on Monday Night Raw. So if one of the former World Heavyweight World Heavyweight Champions wins King of the Ring, I wouldn't be upset. Right? Like, people are upset that Seth Rollins won the Money in the Bank because he's not a new star. He's not fresh. Seth Rollins is taking opportunity away from other superstars, and it should have been LA Knight to win it. It should have been Solo Sikoa to win it. But it's like, no, Seth Rollins is the best superstar that was in that Money in the Bank ladder match. He can win the Money in the Bank, right? There's no problem with that. King of the Ring is something where it's like, it doesn't need to be someone who's never won the World Heavyweight Championship before. It doesn't need to be Sami Zayn that wins it. Even though Sami Zayn winning it would be cool, Sami Zayn versus Gunther can run it back at SummerSlam since they had a pretty good match at WrestleMania last year. Sami Zayn beat Gunther already, so it'll be interesting to see. The storyline is going to be, can Sami Zayn beat Gunther again this time for the World Heavyweight Championship? Is he going to be able to do it? Is he going to be able to repeat that success, or repeat that miracle that he pulled off last year? That's going to be the storyline, and it makes me feel that, like, yeah, that's the direction WWE is going to go. It's going to, like, Sami Zayn is the obvious answer for who's going to win King of the Ring. It's probably going to take some interferences, right? He's not going to win cleanly. against Cody. Cody Rhodes isn't gonna lose clean. Jey Uso he's probably not gonna lose clean either. Because W is just being too overprotective right now. Like I said in my video that I made earlier today, W is just overprotective, safe booking. And is Sami Zayn, is he the safe answer for who's gonna win the King of the Ring? I say there's no problem with it. Sami Zayn, he's like 41 right now, right? Sami Zayn, he's in his 40s. This is the time to pull the trigger and make him at least a world title contender. If he's never gonna get another shot again, this is the year. This is probably the last opportunity, the last push that Sami Zayn is gonna get. But it's okay because he can still have matches against Dominic Mysterio or whoever in the Intercontinental Championship. But just let me know who you think is gonna win King of the Ring. I'm not gonna live stream for much longer because I'm gonna go to sleep if I'm gonna be honest, because I've been up since way early and I went to sleep like at 3 a.m. last night. But go watch my video if you haven't seen it from yesterday. I'm gonna post another full length video again tomorrow. We're just on the grind, posting so many just YouTube. I'm fully committed. I'm gonna start buying subscriptions to these other things. But thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Now, how do I turn this off?